I read Pritty by Keith F. Miller Jr. It is a queer YA coming of age with romance. This book was fantastic. The audiobook was wonderful. The narrator's performances were great. The story follows Jay and Leroy. They are two young queer black boys from the neighborhoods of Savannah. Jay is the quiet one. Leroy is more of the tough one. And the story basically follows how they start liking each other, then they fall in love, but outside forces from their community, gang violence, separates them. And then you will follow their stories individually as they work by themselves to survive, get through it, and maybe come back together, finding each other again. It is a beautiful story, an amazing portrayal of queer black boyhood. These characters felt real. They were so raw, so authentic. The sense of community. This was such a joy. But I'm not gonna lie, there were some gritty, green parts in the story. Like, these boys go through it. It's rough sometimes, but still beautiful. And Leroy and Jay, they are so sweet, so tender with each other, so vulnerable and real. I just loved it. The funny thing is that I was reading this book, and by the last act, I was like, how are they going to tie everything up? Like, there's a lot of loose ends and so little book left. But then I find out that there's actually already a sequel out because I'm a freaking dummy and I didn't know. So you bet I'm reading the sequel that it's titled Together. And I'm actually glad because I thought there was going to be a lot more romance in this book, but it falls more in the coming of age part of it because the characters are for a large part of the book separated. And I guess that with the next book, it's titled Together, we are actually going to see their relationship flourish because they are actually going to be together. So I don't know how much I can talk about this book without spoiling it, so please read it. You won't regret it. It is highly recommended because it is a beautiful